In the very beginning of the year, 1948, more specifically January 30th, 1948, Gandhi was assassinated by a Hindu militant. Mahatma Gandhi was well known for his anti-violent resistance against the British ruling over India. He led a very successful campaign and inspired many movements for civil rights and freedoms across the world. It's sad that his anti-violent movements were put to end violently in 1948. 2 months later, though, in 1948, across the globe, an American politician, businessman, and environmentalist was born. Born with the name Albert Arnold Gore Jr., the world would slowly start to know him as Al Gore, a U.S. Senator from Tennessee and the Vice President under Bill Clinton. Before all of his well-known fame, he was just a normal kid that grew up in a boarding school. He went to St. Albans School, a prestigious feeder school for the Ivy League. Al Gore graduated 25th in his class and applied to only one college, Harvard University. He got accepted and planned to study and major in English. That eventually changed, and he got into politics. Al Gore's freshman year at Harvard, he lived in the Dunster House, one of 12 undergraduate student housings at Harvard. His roommate was also studying English, and his roommate actually stuck with it. He majored in English literature and graduated with a Bachelor of Arts cum laude. You might not know this, but Al Gore's roommate freshman year was Tommy Lee Jones. An award-winning actor known for Men in Black, No Country for Old Men, Lincoln, Natural Born Killers, and a whole bunch more. After Jones graduated college in 1969, he moved to New York City to pursue acting, while his freshman year roommate, Al Gore, joined the military and fought in Vietnam. 28 years later, in 1997, Al Gore was the Vice President of America and dealing with the Monica Lewinsky scandal between President Clinton and a White House intern, Monica Lewinsky. Meanwhile, Al Gore's freshman year roommate, Tommy Lee Jones, was in LA promoting a film he had just recently been in and released. That film was Volcano. A disaster film about a volcano erupting in downtown Los Angeles.
I didn't know that was the plot.
Yeah, downtown LA.
Okay.
The coast is toast. The log line for the movie. Volcano received mixed reviews and only got a 5.5 out of 10 on IMDb. I think it would have done better if it wasn't for a similar movie to be released 3 months earlier. The cast and crew of Dante's Peak found themselves in a distribution race with 20th Century Fox, who was also producing Volcano. 2 disaster movies about volcanoes releasing at the same time. Not smart thinking on whoever was running 20th Century Fox at the time. Cough, cough, John Motain, cough, cough. Dante's Peak had a sped-up production schedule, and the movie was released 3 months earlier than Volcano. It also had a better box office success. Sorry, Tommy Lee Jones. We still love you. Today, the Moist Boys dive deep into Dante's Peak, a disaster, action, adventure, thriller about a long, dormant volcano erupting on the countryside town that is the second most desirable place to live in America. Starring Pierce Brosnan and Linda Hamilton with a 6 out of 10 on IMDb. Sorry again, Tommy Lee Jones. How does Dante's Peak hold up 27 years later in 2024? Let's find out.
What did Gandhi have to do with it?
He died the year Al Gore was born.
We start with a boom.
Boom.
Fucking volcanoes
Of
going.
volcanoes erupting, which I knew this movie was volcanoes, but I was like, okay, we're starting with a volcano.
Boom.
Best way to start. Opens up with a volcano exploding, and then literally just Dante's Peak, like in the smoke.
Yeah.
And then like, hell yeah.
Then it's just death from above.
Yeah, and the credits are rolling over this, like,
People just die.
people dying. It's volcanic ash, volcanic smoke.
It's not fun.
It's like, if you've ever seen Oppenheimer, it's kind of like that, where you're just like, Jesus Christ. You're like, this is rough.
Did you see the man running away while holding a pig?
Oh, no,
That's
I
what I'm like.
didn't.
It's him holding like a piglet. I'm like, what is happening?
There's a guy pushing a bike. There's people running and screaming. And then it cuts to Pierce Brosnan driving his truck
through ash.
and he can't see anything because it's like this bloody rain ash thing.
Yeah, honestly, this movie stressed me out quite a bit. Like, where like horror movies don't get to me, this did.
Well, it's because it's like real life.
Kinda, yeah.
Volcanoes happen.
That's true.
This is a disaster movie. But like, and he can barely see out of his truck, he's driving and he goes up, and I'm assuming it's part of his scientific team, I think. We don't know. But he's yelling at this girl named Marianne, and he's like, we gotta go. We're out of time. And she's like, no, I want to stay. It's off the charts. And I'm like, dude, it's
happening now.
What are you sticking around for?
No, when she said, I want to stay, like, what? What are we doing?
You're gonna die. But then they finally Pierce finally convinces him to leave. The entire movie I call him Pierce.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Well, 'cause what was it? Harry?
Harry.
Because there was Harry and Larry or Terry.
Yeah, it was
There's a few of them.
And it was just like, that's a little similar to be on the same team.
Yeah, and also to be yelling at each other. Yeah.
And they use their names a lot.
Yeah, it's just they yell it out into the void constantly.
But they finally agree, and Marianne gets in the truck, and we find out that they're like dating or something. Because
Yeah.
it's like they're calling each other sweetheart and honey and all this stuff. And then his truck just starts getting hit with debris.
That big one that hit the front.
Yeah, I'm just like, holy
The
fuck.
engine should be just gone, I thought.
And then a smaller piece of lava hits the ceiling of his car, goes through it, and it hits Marianne in the head, and she's dead.
Just got sniped by a volcano. And then
and he's just like, no! Like,
fade to black.
fade to black, and then it goes 4 years later. And it's just like, Jesus Christ.
And then he's doing push-ups.
He's doing a lot of push-ups.
Which doesn't come back later. He never pushes anything.
No,
Like,
I don't know. But
Him being fit has nothing to do with anything in
because
this
he's
film.
a scientist. He doesn't need to be fit. It's like when The Rock is a scientist. It's like,
Right.
No, you're not.
You don't have time to be, clearly.
You're obviously working out. I mean, Pierce Brosnan isn't jacked, but he still looks great,
I mean, this is during the Bond years, is what we just figured out.
which is badass. I love Pierce Brosnan.
I do too.
He's doing push-ups. He gets a phone call from like I'm guessing his boss, and he's like, "Hey, you got to come to the office," but he ignores it, and like, but then he
You've heard
finally,
of rumblings.
but then he finally decides to go to the office, and we cut to the United States Geological Survey in Vancouver, Washington, and they go, "Something's going on in the Northern Cascades," and then they say the name of the movie,
Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak, which I had no idea was the name of the town.
I was a little upset that his name wasn't Dante.
Oh,
I kind of thought Pierce Brosnan was going to be Dante, and I was
and
really
then it
excited
goes to
for the-
Dante's. The town's called Dante's Peak too.
I didn't think that. I thought it was just going to be like his peak.
Oh, that's his new peak.
Yeah.
So in this scene, we meet the boss, the head scientist. His name is Paul.
Yes.
And I looked up a little fun fact about this guy.
Okay.
He's played by a guy named Charlie Hallahan,
Good job, Charlie.
and he sadly died.
Oh, okay.
9 months after the film was released.
Fuck,
Yeah,
okay.
from a heart attack. He's best known for playing, though, this is cool as fuck, the 1982 movie The Thing.
Oh, shit.
He's best known for playing the scampering crab-legged head / victim that the alien monster.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's like his biggest role.
Damn, I need to rewatch that.
Yeah, I can't picture him in my head.
I can picture the thing,
Yeah, but if-
I can't picture like him as it.
But I was like, yeah, that's cool. It sucks that he died right after. So this is like,
Yeah.
apparently he went on and filmed like 6 more things after Dante's Peak before he died.
That's always so weird when actors die and then they just keep coming out.
Yeah, and then
But
stuff
also,
is
like,
coming out.
Music is like, there's so much music being released by dead people right now.
Oh yeah, I think people were posting like Michael Jackson shit recently, which is weird. But then we cut to Dante's Peak town, and they're having like a parade and a festival for their town.
And it's adorable.
It's like a cute small mountain town. And I'm like, oh, this town looks really awesome.
well, it's going to be destroyed.
And Pierce comes to town looking good.
He does.
What is he? Like, what's his...
British?
Oh, he's British?
He was Bond.
Yeah, but I thought he was just maybe playing a British person.
I think
Daniel
usually-
Craig's not British. Is he?
I think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I guess, what's his face? Who's the original Bond? What's his name?
The original? I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Well, he wasn't the original.
No, but you know who the original
you-
is. Fucking.
I forgot his name. We're a movie podcast.
Yeah, no, we're not. Fuck, what? He's The Rock. He's in so much shit.
League of Extraordinary
Yeah,
Gentlemen.
exactly.
Sean
Thank you.
Connery.
Thank you.
I had to say League to figure
Yeah.
it out.
But he's not British.
Yeah, he's something else.
He's Scottish. Dumbass.
I don't know. I don't know what people are from, but I think they're good. Yeah. Pierce is good. And
sure
then,
is,
and
bud.
then we meet Linda Hamilton.
Also known as Mayor Wando.
She's the mayor of the town, which I did not expect.
Yeah, and her last name's Wando. I
Mayor
don't know.
Wando.
I hated that immediately. But
is-
also, she's pretty cute in this.
She's really cute in
And
this.
this is post T2. So I thought she was going to be like, I guess you never see if she's ripped or not.
Yeah, you don't.
Because like she can probably do more push-ups than Bond.
Yeah, probably. She was probably doing push-ups when Bond was doing push-ups.
Yeah, who'd win in a fight? T2 Linda Hamilton or Bond?
Probably T2 Linda Hamilton. Bond, like,
He's all, yeah, because also Pierce Brosnan Bond relied on gadgets.
yeah, very gadgety, and he's just into sleeping with women.
That's true.
So he'd probably try and sleep with Linda Hamilton.
And then she'd just murder
and then
him
kill him
immediately.
Yeah. So the town is getting an award from Money Magazine, which I don't even know what that is.
No, me neither.
And the award is for second best.
What? I mean, out of a lot.
Yeah, second best place to live with a population under 20,000. Which is such a funny thing to write for
So
script wise, because
specific,
I'm
yeah.
like, Just have them win first best.
Sure.
Or like, why does it got to be second best and then population under 20? Like, it's just so specific.
Because I think they have like, I don't even know. They showed the population. I cannot remember.
I think
what
it was like 7,000.
I thought so too. Yeah,
7,000.
Like it's not even close to 20,000. But also, what makes this place so nice?
I don't know. It looks
fine.
It looks fine.
Yeah.
It's also like the 90s.
But
so.
also, it seemed a little poor because like she was struggling.
Well, then there was that whole subplot that they never really address of like
they're gonna expand.
This guy with money was coming in and giving jobs to a ton of people, and then when the volcano comes through, he pulls out.
Yeah.
But they never really dive into that part of the story at all.
What any of it is.
That didn't even need to be included.
No. Well, that was just the whole of why they didn't announce the volcano.
Oh, okay.
At first, yeah.
But also, they don't want to freak people out. So then they're doing this award. People are having a fun time at this festival parade. We cut to the outskirts of town at a hot springs. And
we got some naked people.
There's a hot, naked young couple.
There's butts in this. Barely, but still.
It's cut off.
You see, no, after. Later you see the butts.
Oh, the dead butts.
The burnt butts.
Yeah, the not alive, sexy butts. But they're
dead,
like
burnt, sexy butts.
They're skinny dipping in a hot springs, and they're like, "Ooh, it's warm, and then all of a sudden it starts bubbling.
Too warm.
And then they get fried to
they boil alive.
They boil alive. You don't see it, but
it's real quick. Too.
It's just like Jesus Christ.
Well, that was the other thing.
We just see the camera goes into the water, and we just see lava. Just Jesus fuck. And then it cuts back to Linda Hamilton,
and now she meets Pierce.
She's looking for her son. We find out that Pierce doesn't have any kids.
Yep.
And she has 2 kids, a son and a daughter.
And no husband.
We find out that Linda Hamilton's son is a punk-ass teenager.
I put dirtbag.
That likes to hang out in abandoned mines.
Horrible place to be. Yeah, she just pulls them. She starts screaming at a blocked off door.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, also, I'm like, how do you get in there? And then he like crawls under a little jagged metal piece. Yeah.
And he's in there with some friends.
And then now Pierce Brosnan is in the car with the whole family.
Yeah, met the kids already.
And they're just like, let's go see Grandma. And she's like, fine.
Apparently, Grandma's on the way up to the top of the mountain where he wanted to go look anyway. So it's like, because she's showing him the town.
Yeah.
The town. So while they're in the car, the son has like this quartz or something. So then Pierce starts explaining about rocks because he's a geologist. He likes rocks. Actually, he's a volcanoist or whatever that terming is. And then he compares himself. This is a weird thing. He compares himself to Spock. He goes, I'm pretty much Spock without the ears. And I'm just like, what?
What are we doing?
We find out that Linda is divorced or the husband disappeared. I don't know if they're fully divorced or whatever. But the grandma is the ex-husband's mother.
Yes.
So it's the ex-mother-in-law. And then instead of leaving the kids there, the grandma's like, I want to come.
Yeah, let's go swimming.
So then the grandma and their dog and her dog get in the car with Pierce Brosnan.
What's his name? Rusty or something stupid like that?
It's Ruffy.
Ruffy, yeah.
What the fuck kind of name of a dog? Ruffy.
They gave up real quick.
So then they go up this mountain. Pierce is doing like science stuff.
Yeah, they reach a good lookout point.
Taking photos. The kids go off to run. We see this beautiful view of nature, and Pierce Brosnan pulls out his camera, and then he turns around and takes a photo of a rock. And my fun fact, I read that. That's Pierce Brosnan's real camera.
Oh, wow.
So he took a photo of like little Hamilton. I wonder if he just has that like at his house. That'd be cool.
I like when he's looking out and you see the town, and it's also just very clear, like, oh, that's a direct shot to the town. Like that thing's gonna
the lava's gonna go right there.
It's just a slide. Yeah.
So they're having like this sweet moment, beautiful nature, and then we hear kids scream, and they're like, "Oh no!" And I was like, "Oh, the kids found the dead bodies."
Yep.
Nope.
They found different dead bodies.
They found dead squirrels. Yep.
Which, classic volcano.
And apparently the grandma's like, I've been noticing those all over the mountain. And she seemed nonchalant about it too.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how many dead squirrels I would have to see before I really got worried.
Probably in a day, 5.
I was going to say 4. Yeah, I think the 5th one would get me.
Where I'm just like, okay, something's going on.
But also, I'm not going to do anything about it. Who am I going to call?
I wouldn't know what to do about it.
No.
Especially in Iowa, I'd be like, why are there a squirrel? Like, what's going on here? I get if you're on a mountain. And then they go to the hot springs. And
I wrote, this is my first quote I wrote down.
You have a quote?
Yeah, it's the grandma talking about the hot springs. She says, some couples sneak up here for a hot dip. or some hot nookie.
And she says this to the grandkids.
Well, she said it to Linda Hamilton, but the kids were there.
The kids were there. And then the daughter is like, oh, someone lost their clothes. You know, because the clothes are on the sign. And then the guy, like, they don't even.
Well, the little boys get.
Yeah, they don't even look in the hot springs because it's very smoky and because it's boiling water.
It's just.
And the kid's like, I'm just going to jump straight in. You don't cannonball into hot springs.
I don't think so.
I've been to hot springs many times.
You don't go underwater, do you?
You can.
Okay.
But it's mostly just, it's a hot tub.
Yeah, well, because like I don't like going, like I try not to go underwater in a hot tub either.
It's weird. But for hot springs, because it's really hot, you ease yourself into it because it's burning hot.
This did make me think of the time I fell asleep in a hot tub.
Yeah, which is terrifying.
Yeah, that was bad.
Which is how you can kill a frog.
Mm-hmm, true, yeah, slowly. But now we see.
But the boy almost jumps in and Pierce goes, no! And then we just see two dead people with their butts out, burned to death. And then we find out that it's too early to tell how bad it is.
Oh, there's my next note is there's 7,400 people.
Oh, you got that. 7,400 people.
It, yeah.
So why couldn't the thing be a population under 10,000?
They'd probably win that.
Oh. So give them first place then. Why is it going to be second best town to live in? We cut to a city council meeting because Pierce Brosnan's like, we got to alert the town. We got to alert the people. We got to freaking because
this hot spring is too hot.
Because there's two dead bodies at the hot spring.
And I took a picture of a rock. That's a lot of this movie too. I'm like, what is Pierce Brosnan's hunch? And why doesn't anyone else who are also professionals see it? Where they're all just
the entire time he has a hunch and everyone's like, I don't believe you.
No, everyone's like, it's fine. Where I would believe 9 out of 10 of the crew over Pierce Brosnan.
But he was right.
Apparently. Who'd have thunk?
Yeah, but remember they bring up a thing later where they got an alert and nothing happened and everyone freaked out and the town went bankrupt.
Well, true.
So
don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want the town to go bankrupt, especially when they just got an award. So they're fighting about whether they should let the town know that there might be a volcano.
Yes.
Or there might be volcanic activity or whatever.
There is a volcano.
Yes, but it's been dormant for 3,000 years or something like that for a long time.
Works.
The rest of the science crew shows up into Dante's Peak.
Well, and Paul immediately pulls Harry aside and be like, cut this shit out.
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing, dude?
You're going to fuck this all up.
So I wrote down the head boss doesn't think it's a big deal.
No, because Paul is now in charge, but Harry can stay.
Yes. Even though Harry was sent out there alone.
Yeah, and also like Harry keeps threatening to leave.
It's weird. And then the guy's like, go on vacation.
Yeah. Well, because at the beginning of the movie, they're like, a vacation won't kill you. Which I guess it wouldn't. This isn't a vacation.
Yeah, but imagine if he went on vacation to this town and died. Then a vacation would kill you.
Well, it'd kill them.
Yeah.
He'd be fine.
But the boss is like, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll only alert the town if there is scientific evidence.
Which, fair.
Which is, yeah, that's what you shouldn't just be,
town meeting.
People are dead. People are dead.
Run.
So Pierce gets fucking pissed off and his boss just goes, you're going on vacation. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So he just like basically fires him or takes, like he's just like.
Mandatory leave.
Yeah, mandatory leave for 2 weeks.
But he doesn't stick with it.
Yeah. Well,
he has zero issue.
Well, he gets pissed off and you see him start to pack.
Yeah.
He starts to pack and then he's like, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to stick around and get drunk.
Yeah.
Because he goes to the bar.
But is this when he's playing pool?
No. Pool's later. This is when he's sitting at the bar and the scientists walk in.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there and the boss sits down and is showing like, hey, I'm in charge.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the fucking head scientist, dude. Cut to this is weird.
Is it the coffee shop?
Yes. So Pierce Brosnan goes to a coffee shop that Linda Hamilton is working at and owns.
Mayor Wando is a barista as well.
She's the mayor. Why does she run a coffee shop?
Does mayor pay if it's a small town?
Yeah, do you have time to run a coffee shop if you're the mayor?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense. And also, that's the house they live in?
Maybe?
I think so. Like when they're leaving, I think that's where they live.
It's a bigger building than just a coffee shop.
Yeah,
so yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think but it is a small town, so I guess I don't know.
That makes sense.
I don't know. It was weird, but
I could technically put a coffee shop in this room.
Yeah, I guess he was the only customer in there.
Yeah, and she's the only employee.
And she poured coffee on his hand.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That was a weird thing. Like, what the? She just missed the cup.
Oh, I have another quote written down.
Okay,
it's a Pierce Brosnan one. He goes, "I've always been better about figuring out volcanoes than people." What's wrong with you?
He's also like he's such a smooth talker, so I don't believe that at all. Like he's so good at talking to people.
Yeah, it definitely should have been just a hyper autistic person. Like it should have been like Danny Pudi from Community
Yeah,
playing this character.
But then it would have made more scientific sense.
Yes.
But not, I don't know if he would have saved all the people. Then,
That's true,
you
yeah.
know? So then she goes, how do you like eggplant parmesan? And he goes, for breakfast? And she goes, no, for dinner.
Which I didn't know who was more flirty in that scenario.
I think she was flirty because
But
she
also
invited him
he-
over dinner, but then he goes, it's a date. He says it's a date.
But also, if I ask if something's for breakfast, I'm picturing fucking before. And then the morning, eggplant parmesan.
Eggplant parmesan from scratch,
That's what I would
baby.
love.
You better wake up early and make this for me, baby. So then it cuts back to science shit. They're in a chopper now, and they're going around the mountain. They're looking at shit. There's still no scientific proof that anything on the mountain is changing.
Says she's quiet. But her name's Dante.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Is that the name of the mountain?
Yeah, it's Dante's Peak.
I thought that was the name of the town.
I think...
think
so
Ant-
maybe the mountain is Dante?
And then the town was at the peak?
Yeah, but it's not.
But it's in the valley?
No, Grandma's more at the peak.
Yeah. Grandma's gonna fucking peak later. But then they're doing science shit. Nothing really happens in this scene.
Yeah, at
it's
all.
It's just like, oh, to prove that they're doing shit. And then it cuts to dinner. Pierce is playing with the kids. Already, he's amazing with kids.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, he does a magic trick
Yeah,
for him.
he's doing something, and then he's like, let me show you one more thing. And then he does this really cool magic trick that's like long.
Yeah.
Like with an invisible thread and a needle.
With 2 kids he doesn't know.
Yeah, and the kids are like, oh my God.
And mom's just watching, getting horny.
Yeah, she gets, because she's drinking wine.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton's horned up. Wando wants some.
He wants it. He wants Pierce to be the mayor of her town.
But now we start learning about her husband during the after dinner wine.
Yeah, because the kids go
On
to
the
bed,
porch.
I assume so. And then they're drinking wine together on the porch, and they're talking about life, dude.
Yeah.
We find out that her husband left,
6 years ago.
disappeared. Not even grandma knows where he is.
She doesn't think.
Oh,
Because I thought that was going to come up at the end, but no.
nope, doesn't matter.
He starts talking about his dead girlfriend.
Yeah, we find out that Pierce Brosnan has never been married.
Yeah.
Because he moves around a lot. But he's been close. And he brings up Mary Ann. And then he just goes, she died in a volcano.
Yep. Well, and then I have another quote. It's just, she loved volcanoes. Like, yeah.
I mean, that was her job.
You guys got a lot in common.
Yeah, I get it.
Volcanoes, and you're both hot. It's fine.
Yeah, his girlfriend in the intro was very hot.
Yeah, and she loved volcanoes.
So yeah, why wouldn't you date her? You're
Yeah.
both really smart scientists.
Yeah,
and
it's
you can
got a
travel
volcano
together.
killed your girlfriend.
They had a terrible
And now
way.
you have a vendetta.
Yeah,
That's what I was hoping, is that he would hate volcanoes.
he
now.
haunts volcanoes
Yeah,
down.
they better stay dormant.
I'm gonna end this volcano before it ends.
He just jumps
in. He
I
fucking
think Bond does that at one point.
Tom Cruise. I think Bond does.
Does fight a
He
volcano at one
jumps
point.
into a volcano because that's like where the evil layer is or something. But then it comes to the next morning, and Linda Hamilton,
Wando.
the mayor is practicing in the car how to say hello to Pierce Brosnan.
And like, they're decent.
And I'm just like, oh, she's crushing on him.
Mm-hmm.
She's crushing.
She's cute though.
She's very cute.
I'd vote for her.
Especially in the intro, like she was wearing like a mayor skirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, dude.
Linda Hamilton.
I've never seen her in anything else. I've only seen her in Terminator and then this.
I've seen her in the other Terminators.
Yeah, like
That's it.
Is she act at all in anything else?
Terminator?
Probably.
I don't know. Probably. She's great in Terminator. She's good in this.
But she brings coffee for the scientists, and I guess she makes good coffee.
I hate the coffee obsessed scientists. Like, what are we doing?
That was weird as fuck. So that's the next time she brings coffee.
Oh, okay.
Dude, but then
Oh, I do have a quote written before this scene too, though. It's him talking about the volcano. He says, "If this blows, the blast will be here within a minute."
holy shit.
Which,
Yeah, so then you should fucking evacuate. Like you don't have time to wait for an alert.
yeah.
So like,
But also when it does blow, I'm confused about what it is either.
well, because there's stages of blowing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the ground
The
rumbles,
crack.
and then it doesn't fully
The
erupt.
little one, and then the
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is volcanoes are terrifying.
which I guess that one took less than a minute. Maybe.
I remember watching a documentary about Mount St. Helen, I think.
Sure.
And that was terrifying.
Well, I mean, there's a volcano that's overdue for an eruption. Where if it the Yellowstone one, right?
oh yeah.
Where I
We're
don't-
like, we'll get smoky here.
We might die from it.
Jesus, that's
Yeah.
how big it is.
Yeah. No,
Where do we go?
we don't.
But if they go, oh, there's movement, where do we go?
I don't know.
We just leave everything
Florida?
behind. Yeah, we just leave everything behind and Because you don't have time. You can't take anything with you.
No.
That's so scary.
Yeah, because we'll get ash at least, but we might be in like the secondary ash zone where like we'll just starve.
Well, remember
slowly.
those wildfires in fucking Oregon, and it was
here.
ashy in Iowa. That's insane.
When it hit orange here.
Yeah, that was fucking wild. But they're doing science, and all the scientists are like talking to Pierce about, oh, how was your dinner?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the quotes from one of the scientists is like, best looking mayor I've ever seen. I mean, true.
Yeah. As far as movie mayors go, she's definitely up there.
Yeah, I mean,
usually it's like a bald man.
it is kind of funny. She plays a mayor in this, but then in her other movie, her co-star is a mayor.
Oh, governor.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Governor. But this is when we find out one of the science guys has a weird coffee obsession.
Yep.
Which is so weird. He has such a wild quote later where he goes, coffee, latte. It's just
Yeah,
like,
like,
settle down, you fucking dork.
It's like people. I hope people aren't actually like that. I guess I don't know.
He seemed like a cool guy except for that line.
Yeah.
Like they all seem like cool scientists. And
You like the team is great,
but he just actively did that in one scene for no reason.
and then I hated him for the rest of the movie.
But then he did nothing else that was annoying like that.
Yeah, but I still hated
Yeah,
him.
see, I didn't like him at all.
The damage was done.
And they're working on this robot that they're going to use to like get close to the volcano, and it's spider legs, I think it's what it's called.
Okay.
And it's not working.
No.
The guy that's working on it keeps kicking it, and he's like, there's like this thing called ELF.
Yep.
That's on it, which is like a thing from NASA.
Extreme low frequencies.
Okay.
That's what it stands for.
So I was like, what is this? But then he's like, let me just take it off.
Yep.
And I was like,
Sorry, NASA.
don't you need that on it?
Well, they didn't explain what it was.
I had no
All they
idea.
said is like, well, NASA's going to want that back, and that's it.
But what is it?
I don't know. It's extremely low frequencies.
Of what?
I don't know.
And it goes on a robot. So then it cuts to Pierce and this one scientist
On top of the volcano.
on top of the fucking mountain, on top of the volcano,
Operating the robot.
operating the robot, and the robot's like walking down the mountain.
It gets stuck immediately.
The scientists at home can see through the camera on the robot, and then it gets stuck immediately. And Terry is this guy's
Yep.
name. He's like, I'm gonna go down there and fix it. And everyone's like, no.
And even like Pierce is like, careful, and then Terry immediately jumps on a rock.
Yeah, and the rock
that
gives out,
breaks.
and then he falls and gets hurt, and he's like, I'll keep going.
But he doesn't even take like a step on it. He like hops on
And
it.
then
Like,
it just collapses.
yeah, and he falls a little down this mountain.
Pierce gets super worried about him. He gets to the robot, and then Terry's like, you know what? I'm gonna go off rope.
Which
Why would you ever?
he wasn't even at the end of the rope. Pierce had like more behind it.
Yeah, why do you gotta unattach?
Yeah.
because he goes, it's stable down here.
Well, yeah, and he just like to walk just in front of the robot to
It's
kick it
fucking
some more.
dumb, dude.
But
And then as soon as he goes off rope, he's kicking this robot. Then the scientists back at the office are going, oh, there's seismic activity.
Yep.
Shit's going on.
Dante fucks him up.
The mountain rumbles, and then it takes out spider legs. That's
Yep.
the name of the robot. And then there's rocks that fall on top of Terry, and he breaks his leg.
Yeah, because he immediately like lays down and just gets covered in rocks.
Fucking 127 hours, baby.
Yeah.
He gets, but he's still alive.
Yeah.
And Pierce is like,
Fuck.
I'm gonna be a hero today.
I guess I have to.
I guess I'm James Bond.
Yeah.
Let me fucking save you.
Yeah, so he's got a broken leg, and they get a helicopter out there. I will say this is the first moment that made me nervous is when they take off in that helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
Just where it's just them in the air.
Dude, that'd be so scary. So like,
You're not even on anything.
no, the helicopter drops down like this rope,
Yeah.
and it's just a clip, and he clips both of them into it, and then pulls them up, and they're above a mountain.
Yeah.
So they're so high up, and they're just being held by one rope and one clamp, two people.
And like, does the helicopter just like set them down
I
like
think
that?
so.
How careful? I mean, I guess a helicopter is slow.
Yeah,
or
but
can
that'd
be
be terrifying. But before the helicopter even shows up, the pilot starts arguing about money.
Yeah.
This is when we establish that the
Pilot's a piece of shit, I guess.
and that comes in later.
It sure does.
Which is wild. So Pierce is really pissed off now because
Yep.
he was like there was seismic activity. We have to alert the town. And the boss goes,
Paul is saying no eruption.
nope, nothing happened. Nothing happened. The science doesn't show anything.
But
It's
also
like but there was science.
Pierce also said like that. I felt that one. It was deep or something. Like he like can feel different earthquakes. Which
I
thought was
felt
so,
it deep, dude.
But like everybody is saying no eruption.
And we find out that the crew has been there for about a week and nothing has changed. So then they're going to go home.
yeah, because I think Paul said like I gave you 2 days. We stayed for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we stayed. Yeah,
we're done.
And then he's like, we can. All of our shit is on the mountain. We can track it from Portland, which is where they're from. So it's the night before they leave. They leave at 6 a.m. the next day.
And yet, what do they do that night?
They get drunk.
At a pool house.
Yep. Pierce is playing pool. Linda Hamilton's there, I guess.
Yeah, she's just looking at him.
She's looking at him playing pool, and Pierce is looking all hot and stuff. And then he like has a terrible shot, which is
he
so
lost.
The science crew is getting drunk, and then the mayor, Linda, has to go home, and he's like, "I'll walk you home." What a gentleman.
So before this, he goes over and he's talking to her, and then fucking Paul comes over, hugs, like does the drunk hang off on both of them. And then as he's walking him out, his team is like, "Hey, it's your break." And like, what the fuck are they doing? Let your man fuck.
Yeah, let him fuck.
Yeah, he's doing
we
something.
know his girlfriend died 4 years ago.
They're the worst wingmen.
They're scientists. They don't know how to flirt.
All right, but you don't think Pierce is fucking on the regular?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing push-ups on the
I guess
regular.
he said he wasn't, but still. Yeah, why was he?
Why was he doing push-ups?
Push-ups never come back. We never even see him shirtless.
No.
No.
Which is sad.
Yeah, probably.
Because I'm trying to think if we ever see him shirtless in Bond movies.
Yes.
Okay,
There is a scene where he walks out of the ocean, I think.
Well, I can picture Halle Berry walking out of the ocean in a swimsuit.
That's Swordfish, I think. Though.
No, there's a Bond movie.
Is there?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a Bond movie.
That's when she has short hair,
It
right?
might not be Halle Berry then, but it's I picture a Bond lady walking.
Well, she
out.
was in, a Bond movie.
Yeah, which is weird. Which is weird that Halle Berry is a Bond lady. But Linda Hamilton, who's not a Bond lady, is crushing hard on this Bond, Pierce Brosnan, saying she wishes he couldn't leave. And he's like, yeah, I wish I could stay and protect the town. And she's like, no, I wish you just wouldn't leave. Like, she's like, I want you in my bed. Like, I want you to protect me.
The kids are asleep. The babysitter leaves.
Yep.
It's time to fuck.
Yeah, she's like, I'll make some coffee. And then he goes, I don't know how to tell you this,
I did like this.
but I've never cared for your coffee.
It's been 2 times. That's fine. Like,
Dude, I wrote down a note. So this line coming from Pierce Brosnan comes off as so suave and sexy.
It's still
and,
weird.
and flirty. But I was like, if anybody else said that line,
it
would have been offensive. Like it would, and then she just like hugs him so.
And they like almost like they do that like just
they're like
face touching.
Yeah, and then they're like about to kiss, and then her daughter is like, "Mom,
I'm thirsty."
I'm thirsty.
But Mama's thirsty too.
Yeah, for Pierce Brosnan's cock. For that lava. But then she goes to get water.
And guess
No,
what?
actually, I have a quote before the water.
Okay.
So he compares having a romantic partner to riding a bike.
Oh yeah.
He goes, once you learn, you never forget, even though it's been a while.
Yeah. So I guess he doesn't fuck often. But also like I don't know how good I am at riding a bike right now.
I probably could.
I could.
It
wouldn't come though.
My start would be a little wobbly, but then
I don't know if I could find the gear shift if it's been too long.
oh, that's easy.
I'm saying.
I rode a lot of bikes. Oh, you're talking about sex.
You're so stupid.
I don't. Yeah. I don't even think I could take off.
There you go.
But then she goes up to fill the water for the daughter, and the water is brown.
And it's smelly.
And Pierce is like, "Oh fuck,
No time to fuck."
Where's the water supply?"
Mom, also like, you could probably fuck real quick. It's been a while for both of you.
Yeah,
It probably won't last long.
Just bang one out real quick, and then
Yeah.
you can take care of the volcano.
But then we find out.
I don't think your humping will cause any more seismic activity.
But now we find out that the volcano's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, because it always is.
But also, what the fuck do you do now?
I don't know, because they get to the water
It's
supply
the
thing.
middle of the night.
They get to the water supply thing, and it's just completely like falling apart on the inside. It smells like sulfur. And then the science is starting to show up, and everybody's freaking out.
Yeah.
And the boss wants the town on alert.
But like, it's like 2 a.m.
And now it's too late.
Yeah.
Like, because it all of a sudden came out of nowhere. People are freaking out.
Yeah,
They put out like a news bulletin thing that says we're gonna meet at the gymnasium at 6 p.m. But this happened in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So they're gonna wait 16 hours.
Jesus, yeah. I didn't think about that.
To have a meeting because they kept going 6 p.m.
Yeah.
tonight.
And they're calling Ruth, but she doesn't care.
Dude,
She's
Ruth,
not answering.
Ruth doesn't want to leave her house.
Which, it's a gorgeous house.
And I read a little fun fact about this. So Ruth not wanting to leave her house is a reference to a real story from Mount St. Helens.
Oh.
Of a guy that lived on the mountain, and he lived there for like 50 years. And they told him, you got to leave, you're going to die. And he goes, no, I'm not going to leave my house. And then he died with his house.
I mean, how old? If he'd been there for 50 years, you think he
years.
might be 80.
But then like years later, a construction crew like found part of his house.
Sure.
And then they still have never found his body.
But like, I don't know.
I don't even know. I guess you're going out with your stuff, and but also
if you're super old and you're like, I don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, but imagine going out on a volcano. That would hurt so fucking bad.
That's why you gotta hope it's the boom that gets you.
Yeah, just turn to dust. Fuck, dude. So now the
Town
whole
meeting.
town is here in the gymnasium. Fucking ton of people.
But also, even looking at it, I was like, fuck, I know what's gonna happen,
Yep.
and I'm stressed because
People-
it's full.
It's
full gymnasium.
And then they go. The volcano's erupting.
Can we leave now?
Here's the evacuation plan, and then the ground starts to shake and people freak out.
Ugh, that bottleneck.
Yeah, because people are trying to go. There's only one
I
exit,
hate that
and then it's like
so much.
So then the mountain starts erupting
Now.
and you're just like, oh fuck,
It's happening.
Another fun fact I read too.
Mm-hmm.
All the volcanic ash in this film
Yeah. Ooh.
was really finely
I did see
shredded
that.
shredded newspaper.
Yeah, I did read that
How
one.
many fucking newspapers?
And also, like, is it a blender? Like, what did you do?
yeah,
to
how
it?
did you get it so? Because it looked like snow. It looked like dirty snow.
I was worried it was going to be asbestos because that's what they used to use.
Oh yeah, back in the day, but this was just newspaper, and it's
Yeah,
like dude, there are wide shots where it's everywhere.
Where they're driving through it.
Yeah, how the fuck did you have that much
With,
newspaper?
like, where there's like a foot of it on the ground.
Fucking wild, dude.
Also, I guess like they make newspaper for sometimes every day.
Yeah,
And
then,
like,
yeah,
and
you can
then
just
where does it go?
shred it?
Where the fuck does all the newspaper go?
Fire. People burn it.
That's so much.
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Because every town. Well, we're getting away from this.
Yeah, it's all right. Eruption. One guy
starting-
almost gets, what's the word? Trampled. And Pierce jumps down and picks him
Yeah,
up.
dude. It's people are getting out of control, and Linda's at the gymnasium, and her kids are home alone, and she's like, "Fuck, I gotta see my kids. I gotta go back to the coffee shop."
But do you remember like the feeling of like falling down in a mosh pit and there's like the second before someone grabs you and
Yeah.
you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah, because everybody's just.
Well, yeah, and then finally like just a hand goes down. Yeah.
But like this is like
And it's-
worse than a mosh pit because everyone's just looking out. Everyone's just trying to escape
okay, yeah, but imagine that hand that reached down being Pierce Brosnan.
with his fucking chiseled chin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, I love his smile.
I bet that forearm is tight.
From the push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the push-ups, dude. That's it. You needed that to save people. So then he's on the phone with his boss. He's helping Linda go to save the kids, and the boss goes, "I'm sorry. You were right. I was wrong." And it's
Cool.
yeah, but it's too late.
Also, why was he like nothing even signified that he was right? Like that's my thing is that there was no even like hidden science that he knew about. It's just a hunch.
Yeah, and the hunch happened to
It's
be
just
true.
that he knows volcanoes because one killed his girlfriend
4 years ago.
and he's been doing push-ups ever since.
Yeah, that's why he gets over it.
But now we got
that.
fucking havoc. So many buildings are just falling over.
Yeah, I don't know if this actually happens in volcanoes or not, but the
it's an
ground
earthquake.
shifts. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
earthquake. So buildings start collapsing. The interstate, dude, this scene was wild.
Well, good.
When the cars are driving on like the interstate exit, and then it just breaks
Yeah.
and falls apart, and then there's a car that just blows up. Like it's just like this movie was from '97, so some of the special effects were a little dodgy.
You could also kind of tell that it was a model just because the cars like they would hit something but they wouldn't be dented.
Yes.
So
So I looked it up. A lot of the scenes and shit were models.
Yeah, I mean,
which
it
is
has
cool.
to be,
Which is
yeah.
cool. So it's not CGI.
that is better.
So it's practical.
But it's just like whenever like it's just like it doesn't get
It's so-
damaged
yeah.
the same.
But it's
'cause
so fun.
Boxcar.
It's so fun in editing where you're like, well, this is real life, and then we cut to a model that's also
Showtime.
that also looks real life
Yeah.
because it's perspective wise. That's fun, dude. But like cars are driving into each other. Everyone's trying to escape, and then Pierce Brosnan's going the opposite direction because
Yeah.
they're driving into town
So
to save the kids.
this is my note. The rest of the movie is just a Universal ride.
It is.
It like literally just feels like that.
If you're just in a truck,
Like it feels like you're in the back seat, and then every once in a while, Pierce Brosnan turns around and looks at you and yells something.
that'd be such an awesome
I
ride.
would not be surprised if it was.
Probably didn't do very well.
Yeah.
'Cause
Better
there's
than the volcano ride.
Was there a volcano ride?
I don't know.
Yeah, it got a half star more than the volcano ride. That'd be really fun though. You like go over magma and stuff. So they're going up. They get to the house where the kids are, and the kids are gone. And there's a fucking note that says, "We went to go save grandma."
Which-
and it's like, dude, this kid is like maybe 14, the
Yeah.
older boy, and then they just
I doubt
12?
even that. Yeah. Like I bet like 12 and like 8.
yeah. But then they just steal the car and drive up the mountain towards the volcano to save grandma
through ash. And this is where
Dude,
I really start getting stressed. Like,
I get that you love your grandma so much, but if your grandma's being a fucking cunt,
let her be a cunt and die a cunt.
Like if you're saying you got to get off the mountain, she goes no. Okay, we're leaving.
Grandma's a lost cause. I'm sorry, kids.
Yeah, we're not going to
no
risk
more grandma.
We're not going to drive up the mountain.
Two children should not die for an old lady.
Yeah. So then the road is going off. Shit's falling apart. Somebody goes off road to fucking save them.
Fucking classic Bond move, though.
Yeah, where he's just like, fuck it.
Except for this car does not turn into a submarine.
Yeah, but he drives it into a river. And at first I'm like, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
So he drive it into the river and it's just getting deeper and deeper.
And water's coming in.
Water's literally at their waist. Like the car is fucked. We see an undershot of the wheels spinning, and then we see other cars like following him because they think it's a way out. But
they die.
Yeah, but he's driving a big truck, so I guess he's able to do it.
There's also there's an engine like spout that's above the car or something.
Oh, so it's made for
He
off-road.
says it, and like it shows it that there's a thing so the car can breathe, but there's still a lot more getting.
Yeah, there's a lot
wet.
so they're stuck, and then this car is getting pushed down the river and T-bones them.
Yeah, they get in a car accident underwater.
But the car accident is what helps them get out of the thing because they're stuck. And then they pull out of the river and then the water just drains and they're fine.
Yeah.
And then they're not wet.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But then
I was just like, what? What is this?
God, then we get a shot of the kids driving through the ash. And this made me really uncomfortable.
This scared me so much.
Well, because it's just like, it's because like, I don't know that feeling, but I know the feeling of being in a blizzard and I'm like, oh shit, I should not have left the house.
Where you can't see anything.
Yes, where
but you're moving forward.
Yeah.
And you don't even, like, your foot's on the gas, but you can't even tell you're moving forward.
Well, and also, if you take off the gas, you're still moving forward.
Yeah,
if you press on the brakes, you're still moving.
It's
like
terrifying.
And like, they're going up a mountain where they're still taking turns.
With tight turns, they can't see anything. It's just a bunch of shredded newspaper. I'm at ash fucking hitting their car.
No, this is like
two kids.
It's where like this hit me harder than a horror movie.
And the kids are freaking out too.
Yeah.
Like they used to like they're touching things and they say, quit touching things.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, because they don't know how to drive to begin with.
Right.
And then it's terrifying. And then the pilot from earlier comes down to save people, but then he's charging people money.
Yeah, because Paul finds out about this, that the pilot's here and he's going to take off. And he's like,
no,
it will kill the engine
because the
immediately.
ash will get in the engine. And then he's like, goes to save him, but the pilot takes off too much. And this is wild.
So this is all the investors are in the helicopter too.
Oh, are they?
Yes,
Okay.
that is who was in the helicopter.
So they all fucking die.
Yeah, because guess what? The engine's turned off.
Yeah, the engine gets clogged by volcanic ash.
Who'd have thought?
And then it cuts to Pierce driving, and the helicopter's coming towards him. Another Bond moment. It like hits right in front of him, and then like bounces over him. And Pierce does like a U-turn, and then we just see the helicopter go into a building and blow up.
And then I think he gets out of the car and he calls somebody. He's like, "Hey, there's a helicopter up here.
Yeah,
send fire and rescue.
Send fire and rescue." It's like, no, we're in the middle of a volcano.
There's too much happening right now.
They're dead.
Yeah.
And if not, they're going to be in 2 minutes.
And also, everything's going to be on fire real soon.
Dude, but it's so intense. The kids get to grandma's house finally, but then
they open the door.
the fucking dog runs out
And just takes off.
So then, like idiots,
Like grandma.
they they get their idiotness from grandma. They chase the dog.
Yep, Ruffy. Yep, took off. I'm like, nope,
Oh my
dog's dead.
God.
But also, to begin with, grama is dead too.
Yeah,
Fuck
and
grandma.
now the kids are fucking there.
Yeah, but grandma's alive in this for this part.
Yeah. For this part.
Yeah. But like just the idea of like putting in any more effort than necessary for your kids.
They make it so hard on themselves.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess if it's a disaster situation, you want to save the ones you love.
Fucking gas. But now Linda Hamilton, Pierce, they show up at grandma's pretty quick too.
Yeah, but on the way up, the road is being blocked behind them.
Oh, right.
Like
yeah,
trees
there's a mudslide or something.
And so the entire road up is completely blocked. So then there's no way out. And I'm just like, fuck. So then they get to the house and the house is empty.
Yeah.
And they're screaming for the kids. And then finally the kids show up.
No
Grandma
Ruffy.
shows up. No dog. And then they go in the house and close the door.
And they hang out for a while.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Move.
Yeah.
Grandma starts looking through photos and is like, "Oh, my ex
Look how nice this is." Yeah.
And then she's like,
Linda's not having it.
Linda's like, "We don't have time."
Yeah. Why even go inside?
Yeah, I don't even know what they were doing.
Should be immediately get in the car. But this is the first time I yell out loud is when they're in the house and then just fucking lava melts a wall.
That was wild.
Where it's just they're hanging out, just like a wall melts and catches
and
fire.
then lava just comes in, and I go, holy. Yeah, the effect looked a little rough.
Not great until they run outside and just everything is on fire.
Everything's on. But I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, how long were they in there?
Lava busts through the fucking house. But while this is happening, he gets a hold of the scientist, but like the statics is going in and out, and he's like, leave, get out of there. And then this is when the scientists have a turn of fate or something, and they go, no, we're gonna stay.
There's no point in them staying.
What is the point of staying?
Yeah, you're not going up to help him.
Yeah, and you're just gonna sit there and wait to die?
Like, they don't accomplish anything
You're
else.
just watching the computers in the grass, because you already know it's erupting, so what do you need to watch?
Because, like, they hang out there until the National Guard shows up.
Until the next day.
And then they just leave. Like, they get nothing else done. Yeah. Yeah, but there's lava everywhere. Everything's on fire, so they're like, all right, let's get in the water.
Yeah, they get in a boat. And they start boating away, and like that grandma's house like blows up, and everything disappears. And then they start to notice all the fish in the water are dead.
All of them.
And it's like, that's kind of terrifying because they're all right on top of the water.
But like for this, I guess I would assume like that it got too hot or something.
That's what I was thinking. It's too hot.
Nope.
But it is. It's burning hot, and it turns into acid.
Yeah, the lake is literally acid, I guess. Which I guess I don't know like what acid is.
Well, it's just the pH levels. Because he tested that earlier.
But also, they're like, it's acid. Oh no, the boat's made of metal. What does acid do?
Acid eats metal.
So it is just acid?
I don't quite know.
Yeah, I don't know like if that's the science correct, but probably.
So then the acid starts eating away this boat. Everyone's like, get your feet up because it's getting through. And then
this fucking moment is insane.
The little boy gives his sister the crystal.
Oh, right.
Which is, I thought was a very heartfelt moment where I was like, he cares about his sister. And then Pierce starts singing, row, row, row your boat, to try and like calm him down.
But then
and then everyone starts joining in, and I almost cried at this part.
They don't just join in; they join in a round.
Yeah,
they're singing in a round just automatically.
Because I was like, oh, they're gonna die together,
and they're gonna die singing a dumbass song.
So I almost teared up at this.
I did not tear up at this
because I was like, you're in the middle of an acid lake.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
Yeah, you went into this lake too without even thinking about.
And then the engine fucking stops working on the boat because of the acid.
Because the propeller melted.
Yeah, the propeller melts off.
But also, I noticed during this scene that Linda Hamilton's trying to start it again. There's nothing to spin.
Yeah, because it's
melted
off.
It's melted.
I mean, you got to try everything, dude.
I guess.
So then Pierce like starts taking off his clothes. Not enough. I wanted to see him shirtless.
Yeah,
he takes off his jacket, wraps it around his hand, and starts paddling with his hand, which I guess is smart, but that would eat through your coat really fast.
Also, would soak into the coat.
Yeah, and it'd be heavy as fuck, and then burn your hand off.
Yeah, you would just lose your hand. But they're paddling along. They see the end of the lake.
This scene is scary. This is insane. They're really close to the edge.
But still probably like 30 feet.
Yeah, you can see.
But you think where like how like deep it gets, 30 feet you can.
Yeah,
it's pretty close.
Pierce is still paddling a little bit, but
Linda Hamilton's trying to start it.
Shit's getting crazy, and then all of a sudden, Grandma Ruth fucking jumps out of the boat. What, dude? This shocked me.
Yeah, into acid.
Yeah, I was just like, and then she grabs the boat and pulls it to the dock. And they're just like, "You're dead."
And they're all just like yelling at her. I'm like, "What are you gonna do now?" And she's just screaming.
Yeah, but she saved them.
She sure did.
But dude, if you would have just waited a few seconds, Pierce probably would have made it there.
I mean, I think so. They were pretty close. Or like. If I was Grandma, I would have just helped paddle.
Yeah, because other people were wearing coats too. Take off your coat and fucking start paddling.
Or I'd be like, sorry, kids, you're going to lose a hand. Fucking paddle.
Yeah, instead of both your legs.
Yeah.
She burns up, and then the boat and the dock sink away as soon as they get to land. And then we find out Ruth's legs are fucked, but she's still alive.
Yeah. But now we cut to the military show.
Well, we cut to this wide shot of the sun rising. Oh, really? Yeah. It's like this blood red sun coming up. And then the National Guard shows up. The whole town is covered in ash, covered in shredded newspaper.
Yeah.
And they're helping evacuate. You know, they've gotten almost everybody out of the town.
I do like the moment where they're like, yeah, we got everybody out. I'm like, what about all the people that were on that highway? Yeah. Like they're just gone.
Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah,
they're dead. Come back to the mountain. They're hiking, and Pierce is carrying Ruth over his shoulder.
All right, that's what the push-ups were for.
Yeah,
should have showed him doing squats.
Fireman carrying Ruth, and then she's like screaming to stop. And then we actually get a shot of her legs, and they're fucking burned to hell.
Well, also, I guess I thought they would look worse than that.
Yeah, they should have. Well, it's PG-13.
Yeah,
they could have made this movie
I wish they were just bones.
Just limbs
just kicking.
She's about to die.
Yeah, she's not doing too hot.
She's about to die, and then the
And
daughter...
she wants to die.
She's like, you got to leave me here. The daughter tries giving her the crystal, which is like, oh, heartfelt. And then she's like, no. She doesn't take it. She's like, you keep it.
I do like the moment where she's just... And you're like, oh, she's dead.
Yeah.
She died.
Grandma dies on the mountain. And then...
Which, like, should have just left her.
Yeah.
You all would have been perfectly fine.
They would have left her if the kids didn't fucking go after
Yeah.
her. It's the fucking dumb kid's fault. But then, of course, the volcano's not done yet.
Yeah.
It's just getting started.
It cracks.
It starts to erupt again. The whole town has been evacuated, and now the scientists are leaving.
Yep.
And there's only one bridge out of town. And the bridge starts to collapse. Like when they're driving across it, the water level, because the water is rising so much, we see like a dam break and everything.
Yeah, like I didn't understand, like where'd that come from?
Well, it's a mountain, so it's all the snow melting.
Is that a thing?
I think so.
That they put dams on the side of mountains for that?
Well, there's just a dam in the area.
Well, yeah, but like the dam had to be above.
Yeah,
the
I think
town.
there was I think because of all the snow and...
Sure, they just never even mentioned a dam.
No,
nearby.
and then we just see a dam break.
And we were like, all right, I guess water's an issue now.
All this water's coming, and then we see this bridge, and the water level is the same height as the bridge, which is fucking terrifying. And they're driving across it. 2 of the 3 cars get across.
It
Paul's
was terrifying. The moment
so
the water
scary.
hits the side of the
Oh,
trucks,
Jesus
and they're still
Christ.
just trying to go forward.
Because that's the only... You have to just hope
Also,
you
why
get
the
through.
fuck was Harry driving by him? Or not
Paul.
Harry, Paul driving by himself.
Yeah, the rest
Everyone
of the
else
guys...
is in the military vehicle.
And those cars are designed for this. And Paul's driving this beat-up fucking van.
The big ass van too,
By himself.
and the military vehicles like ramp off the bridge, and then Paul
gets-
just getting the shit kicked
Paul
out of him.
gets stuck on the bridge. The water's ripping it. The water rips the bridge apart, but he's still hanging on.
Yeah.
They're like, get out, jump.
And he eventually does get out
He
of
gets
it,
out of the van. He's taking
but
fucking
it's
forever.
too late. He takes so
He takes so
long.
long. Dude, I'd be in a fucking panic. I'd be sprinting.
Yes.
But he gets out, he grabs the edge of the bridge, and he holds on,
he's
and
just
we just see like
looking.
this giant, like fucking water thing hit, and then fall over. Just he drowns
Paul-
to death.
But you know what pissed me off? They put a fucking Wilhelm scream in this moment.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. No, Paul dies with a Wilhelm scream.
I didn't notice that.
I hate that so much. You can put it in Star Wars because it's a joke, but like it doesn't belong in anything else, let alone probably
a volcano movie.
but probably like the third main character.
Yeah.
I would say so, besides the kids.
Yeah, besides
him
the family.
dying.
Yeah.
It pulled me out of it.
I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah. But now we also get fucking the families found a car.
Well, they get to the ranger station.
Yeah,
That's where they were trying to go.
And I guess Harry knows how to hotwire a car.
Well, because he's like, fuck, there's no keys. But then he's James Bond.
Yeah.
And he knows how to hotwire.
which I feel like I should know how to do that.
It's just, I think just 2 wires.
Yeah,
That's what
but
they make
what
it.
2?
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
But then it just works, you know?
Yeah.
And then they're driving this truck, and then they get the fuck out of there. Dude, it's insane. So that's going on while Paul's dying.
Yeah.
All this shit. The scientists finally get away.
Yeah, because I think they're just good now.
Yeah. And then it cuts back to them driving in the truck, and then they come across, they're like on a dirt road or something, and then they come across,
Fire.
it's like, it's not lava, but it's like magma.
I think so, yeah.
It's like really hot.
Kind of looked like tar.
Yeah.
Just on fire.
Just on fire, and it's blocking the road. And they're like, fuck, how are we going to get through this? And he backs up and he's like, I'm going to drive through it.
Which he has been
No.
making some fucking risky decisions. Like that, the water.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Go around. You already drove through a river earlier. Go off road.
Yeah.
Don't drive through magma.
Because I would imagine this Ranger car is good for it too. But yeah.
It's rubber.
Yeah. No,
Tires.
And he gets stuck halfway through, and you see that the tires are on fire. The whole car is on fire.
The tires are on fire.
And
the
spinning.
car is on fire.
And then they're spinning freely, and then he gets stuck, but then just doesn't.
Yeah,
And then just continues.
And he continues, and then all of a sudden, nothing's on fire, and the tires are fine. The tires would pop.
Well, no, they melted. There wasn't even air in them.
Yeah, they'd be fucked.
Yeah. But then they also fucking see.
Then they see the dog.
Yeah, who's that on this rock surrounded by shit? Fucking Ruffy.
Yeah.
And he's like, I only got one shot at this.
Lava's coming down.
Lynn Hamilton jumps in the back.
And then we see like the slow motion of the truck's driving, and then the dog jumps, and then we got him.
And also, the dog has clearly been on fire before, which
Yes.
also I love. That means that they just shaved parts of the dogs and dyed part of it black.
Yeah, and made it black and made him super dirty.
And then the car just keeps driving. So.
Yeah. So, but this is my I love when Pierce Brosnan smiles. So once they get the dog, there's this shot of Pierce Brosnan driving, and he just has this smile on his face, and it's like so because he's like, we did it, and it's like,
But also, you did it. Shit yet. You are not out of it.
You've also gotten lucky as hell
several times.
They get back to town, and it's like calm.
Yeah.
But everything's destroyed and covered in ash, and it's like terrifying.
Yeah, and he gets
like it looks
back-
like an apocalypse.
And he got back to like where like the scientist station was.
Yeah, it's still set up. You
and
know,
he grabs the elf box.
he grabs the elf box, which I was like, oh, that was something. But
Some
I
sort of
still-
MacGuffin,
I
yeah.
still- yeah, I still don't know what that is.
They should have explained what it was.
Yeah.
But then Dante explodes.
Oh fuck. Yeah. This sucks because it's coming straight for the town, which we saw earlier is a straight shot.
Well, it's less than a minute.
Straight shot. Yeah, it's coming straight. He's grabbing things. He gets in the truck, and we see the shot of lava just coming this way. There's this giant explosion of smoke, you know, and like the smoke, I don't even, it's like a cloud of something.
Did you write down what the cloud was?
Yeah, it's a pyroclastic cloud.
Which, terrifying.
Yeah, because dude,
it obliterates.
it's anything it touches. Like it's touching buildings, trees, cars.
The trees getting just like gone.
Splinters.
Was
Yeah,
terrifying.
just fucking, and it just this cloud of just pressurized fucking. It's so scary.
And he's starting to drive away. I love how long this took. Of how many shots of we just got a cloud moving towards you, think exploding, cloud moving towards you.
You got to build it up,
Do you
and he's just
notice-
driving straight away.
Do you notice there was a moment where I don't know if like they shot it from the car, but there was a face against the clouds.
Oh,
or in the
shit.
clouds, yeah.
Well, there was
I don't know if it was like a reflection shot.
Well, they were doing these weird effects, and I don't know what they were trying to do, but it was Linda Hamilton's face
Okay.
looking back at the disaster scene, and
Sure.
they did it a few times.
Well,
and I was like, "What is this?"
No, there was one moment where it looks like maybe it was a reflection of someone's face, but it was
Okay.
overlaying on the clouds. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, what is this effect? So he's driving. There's nowhere to go because the bridge is fucking out.
Yeah.
There's no way else out of this town. And then he just decides to drive into the mine shaft,
Guns it for just this metal door.
which is, what the hell is that going to do?
Still a universal ride. Like literally this entire thing is nothing but that.
And that'd be so fun if it's a universal ride and you go in and then part of what you thought was like the ride breaks off and
sure,
you keep
yeah.
going through the mine.
Ooh, that'd be sick, yeah.
as fuck, dude.
We should be Imagineers.
Oh, yeah, we could. Disney. So they get in like a few feet into the mine, and of course
Yeah.
they get stopped
Yeah.
because it's a tunnel
Yeah.
and a car doesn't fit. They get trapped, and then Pierce kicks out the windshield, and then they're like, well, guess we're going hiking in the mine.
Yeah, luckily the kid had snacks in there.
Yeah, so yeah, because that's where the kid hangs out. So there's water, there's flashlights, there's snacks, there's food.
What more do you need?
Yeah, so they can hang out there. And he's in charge. He leads them to his hideout.
Yeah.
Graham is his name.
Yes. Little shit.
And then Pierce is like, oh, I forgot to grab the elf.
Yeah.
The transmitter. So I'm going to go back for it. And I'm just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You're going to go back for it. And then while he's going back for it, the kid is in charge of finding some rope and some other shit for the dog. Yeah, Graham is. And then as he's going back, right before he goes back, he has a fucking pep talk with the family.
Yeah.
About like, have you ever been deep sea fishing?
Yeah.
We're going to do that after we get done here. Every time he has these moments with the kids, I'm like, he's so good with kids.
Also, I'm like, you don't know them.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's the dad. He's their father now.
You've known the kids for 2 evenings,
Yeah,
and you got drunk with the mom twice.
but I mean, in emergency situations, you bond.
I mean,
bond quick.
But also, he understands volcanoes more than people.
Yeah, even though he's great at talking.
Apparently.
So he goes to get Elf, and as soon as he's in the tunnel starts falling apart, and it collapses behind him. So now he's stuck in the tunnel without the family.
Yeah.
Which, dude, if I was the family, I'd be like, oh, we're fucked.
Yeah.
He got us this far.
He's dead. Yeah.
And I'm just a mayor and a coffee shop owner. Like,
With my 2 dumbass kids.
and a dog.
that I
You
don't
gotta
even
take-
like.
You gotta take, yeah, it's the grandma's dog.
To me, I'm like, that dog is meat.
Yeah, let's eat it. So he's going to the car,
Yeah.
and some rocks fall, and it hits him in the arm, and he breaks his arm, and then his bone
Yeah.
is sticking out of it. I was like, Jesus.
Because this is where I started to kind of tune out of the movie, and then the car started getting crushed. I was like, oh shit, he's buried alive.
So he breaks his arm, but he gets up and keeps going. He's a fucking badass. He crawls into the truck to get the elf thing, and then as he does, the top of the truck collapses on him, and he's like tight.
Yeah.
And then he's like trying to turn on this elf thing. It's not working. So then he starts kicking it.
Well, did you understand this reference where it was like, that's what Paul always did is he kicked stuff to get it to work.
And it worked, so
yeah.
he was kicking it.
Yeah,
So
he literally kicked it to get it to work.
That was a nice little thing.
Yeah.
So then it finally turns on and it starts beeping, and then it just keeps beeping, and we just see the town fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
And we just hear the light beeping and the light beeping. Then we cut to the scientists are working on shit, I think back in Portland.
Yeah.
And we noticed this light blinking. The scientist on the crutches that broke his leg earlier in the movie is like, how long has that been blinking? And the guy's like,
a day or two.
A day or two.
Which means Pierce Brosnan has been bleeding out.
And trapped in a truck.
But also, his bone is out of his body.
Yeah.
He is bleeding bad.
And can't move without food or water.
For 2 days.
For 2 days. Yeah. I'd be so scared.
I would want to die.
But you can't. You just have to literally hope to die. Because at that point, you
just want to pass out.
Yeah, I would just keep trying to sleep, and then I'd wake and go, God damn it, not dead yet. It's like, it sucks. But
you
then,
don't even know how long you'd be
because
there.
you have no track of time.
Yeah. Ugh,
but then the guy is like, oh, thank God, NASA.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to a whole...
Because immediately he's like, he's alive.
Yeah. We cut to a whole rescue team. They pull Pierce Brosnan out of here.
Which I was confused how they even got in there.
There was a big team. I don't know.
And like they just like pull him up.
They pull him up. They pull the truck out.
He's like, there's more people in there.
Yeah. Everyone's applauding, and he's like, where's Paul? Where's Rachel? Where is she?
But he's also not even freaking out.
Yeah. Where are the kids? Like, he's just like, they're still in the mine. They pull out the truck. The rescuers go in the mine. Then they pull out the family,
and they're
and the dog is fine.
Yeah,
but I guess nothing collapsed around them, and they had food and water.
Yes, I guess they're fine.
Pierce Brosnan should have died.
Yes, absolutely.
But you can't kill him. So then it's a reunion, happy reunion, and then they fucking kiss.
Yeah,
and I was like, yes, I'm so happy, so excited. And what I love about this kiss is the two kids are just there watching their mom kiss this guy,
this dying man.
Yeah, he has a bone sticking out of his arm, and then. They get in a helicopter, and he's like, time to go fishing.
Yep. And that's the fucking end of the movie.
Yeah, it goes away. Credits start rolling on top of the camera panning around, and then the camera just stops on the mountain with the volcano, and then the credits keep rolling, and that's the end. That's a quick movie.
Yeah.
Like,
it was still an hour of 50, I think.
It was almost a 2-hour movie, but like most of the movie was just the volcano.
Them driving through random shit.
Which was insane.
Yeah.
It was badass.
I enjoyed it.
So my closing thoughts.
Yes.
I always write these like immediately after I'm done with the movie. I put, wow.
What a ride.
I wish it was a ride.
It should have been.
I really enjoyed that movie. It's very 90s, but in a good way. Like 90s had like a very specific color palette.
Yeah.
And this movie had that color palette.
But like, it was good.
It's not bad. But like, just films had a certain look back then.
And it was you usually notice it in like nature shots, I feel like.
Yes. It's like it's a little bland.
Yeah. It made me think of like Cliffhanger.
Oh, yep.
Like just that visual of the mountain.
What is that movie even about?
I don't know.
Because I've seen the opening scene so many times, and that's...
Well, do you know John Lithgow is a terrorist in it?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It's a weird movie.
I own it.
No.
I need to watch it, but I'm like, how does it...
It just keeps going.
But it ends on a cliffhanger. Like, it starts on a cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. Whatever. Whatever.
Sounds like that should be a moist movie of the month, because I've never finished it.
It probably sucks.
Probably.
It's probably like really good for the beginning.
I don't know that.
Basic story, because it's a disaster film.
Doesn't need anything more.
But it was done well. The effects were a little cheesy in some scenes, but it's 90 film, so I'll give it. Loved Pierce Brosnan as the main actor, and I loved seeing Linda Hamilton in something besides Terminator.
Like a little softer role.
It was nice. It was nice. Yeah,
like she's
she plays
softer,
a badass.
but she still has power.
Yeah. This movie was really good and enjoyable, and it went quick, just under 2 hours. But like it was a fast watch.
Yeah.
It was intense. It was emotional. It was a fun watch. I'll definitely watch this again. And I think this goes up there with one of the best disaster films.
Yes, I would honestly agree.
Like I think my top disaster films is this and Twister,
Sure.
the original.
Because like I recently actually started watching like 2012 and what's the other one that's exactly like
The Day After Tomorrow or
Yeah,
something?
and
Yeah.
like those got nothing on this.
No, those are like I
End
think they
of
were
the
good for
world.
the time or something.
I don't know. I feel like they were kind of just like cash grabs.
A lot of disaster movies are just like, eh.
Yeah,
But this one is like
I
pretty
enjoyed
good.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think this one did better than Volcano,
it did.
which is wild because that's Tommy Lee Jones, but this is Pierce Brosnan.
I don't know who I prefer.
I don't know, dude.
They're both great.
But I would highly recommend this movie, especially if you love Pierce Brosnan. And to be honest, who doesn't love Pierce
Exactly.
Brosnan? He's fucking awesome. So now it's time for the moist meter. What do we rate this movie? Half full or half empty?
Let's find out.
Let's find out. All right, welcome back to the official moist meter of the moist movie of the month. Did I say that right? A lot of M's.
Welcome back to the official Moist Movie of the Month, Moist Meter Reveal.
There it is.
Yes.
Before we reveal what we rated this movie, we'd like to announce the winner of Dante's Peaks Pint Glass, Moist Meters Pint Glass. God, words are tough, and we haven't even chugged a beer yet.
Well, we got there.
The winner for this month is Jim. Jim sent an email reviewing the movie. He thought it was really good and enjoyable. And he goes, even though you know the main people are going to live, still intense. And I agree.
Yes, very much
Like,
so.
I was like, there are scenes where I'm like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
But it's a movie.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's a Pierce Brosnan movie.
so, Jim, you will be getting an official Moist Movie of the Month, Moist Meter Pint Glass. If you want to win an official Moist Movie of the Month, Moist Movie Pint Glass, send us an email
Moist Meter.
about the next film we're going to do, which we'll announce right now.
Yes, it is.
For September, we're going to be watching the 1981 movie Blowout.
Which I know nothing about.
I know nothing about it. I've never seen this. One of my friends recommended to do it. It's rated R, and it stars John Travolta. 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's probably one of the higher rated Moist Movie of the Month.
I'm excited for this. It's a psychological crime thriller. That's all I know about it. So make sure you watch that. And if you do watch it, send us an email with your thoughts, feelings, and reactions to that.
And you just might win.
And you
a
might win.
Moist Movie of the Month Moist Meter.
Yes. So now, before we reveal any closing thoughts or anything you want to get out of the way involving Dante's Peak, I do have a few little fun facts left.
Sure.
But do you have any closing thoughts?
So I would say I did love this movie, but also we talked about this. It is still just a disaster movie.
Yes.
It's a good disaster movie, but those also,
yeah.
they are derived, or like the plot isn't usually there.
Yeah, disaster movies are what they are. Like, they're just
70% just action, but it's also like not even like action. But it's also like man versus like
it's man versus nature.
God.
Yeah, and it's like because there's only so much you can do and only so much story you can have because you don't have too much story. It's kind of like Godzilla movies.
Sure.
It's like they try putting a story in, but it's like you're watching a Godzilla movie.
Also
and you wanna
nowadays they barely put Godzilla in them.
and the story is like I don't care about that.
But this is like 50 minutes of volcano erupting.
It's fucking awesome. I got two more fun facts about this film. So, the person that was originally casted to play the lead instead of Pierce Brosnan
Ooh.
was Michael Douglas.
I mean,
He's fine.
he might be more believable as a scientist.
But then also seeing the love interest with Linda Hamilton, I think that'd be a little weird.
Yeah.
And then also considered for the lead role, Kurt Russell.
I mean, that would have been good.
It would have been good. Kurt Russell's really good, but also, again, like, you don't have the suaveness as Pierce Brosnan.
No, but there you get a little bit more like just manly energy.
But then also, he's a scientist.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so Pierce Brosnan, I think, worked out great.
For the romance and scientist.
It is wild to think, like, when a movie gets written and shit, then they got to go through casting and how different a movie can turn out to be depending on who they cast.
Kurt Russell versus Pierce Brosnan, completely different.
Yeah,
I mean, same with Michael Douglas.
It's a different movie, and it could be the exact same shots, exact same thing, but it'd be a way different
feel.
It would be a way different feel, and I don't know if it would be better or worse.
It's also, could you imagine like Michael Douglas doing that weird magic trick?
To kids,
That'd been weird. Yeah,
him interacting with the kids wouldn't. It'd be weird. Same with
like,
Kurt Russell.
But like Kurt Russell driving through a volcano.
Yeah,
badass.
that'd be more
Yeah.
badass. And like his bone sticking out.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So the official beer of today's Dante's Peak movie is the Dead Guy Ale by Rogue.
Because we only see one guy die in this.
But a lot of people do die.
We assume.
We were sipping
Paul's
on
the only one we know.
We were sipping on a volcano cocktail that I made for the episode. I've never made a cocktail before, and I did a bad job. But it's a red color, and it's whatever.
Yeah. But here is our official
Yes, let's see what we did.
Moist Movie of the Month. Moist Meter Review. Is it a glass half full or a glass half empty? Let's find out.
Let's see. Oh,
Ooh.
wow, Jacob rated it higher than me.
Oh, I thought you were going to be higher than me.
Well, as we were pouring, I poured it terribly, so I had a lot of foam, so I was letting it sit. But then also, while we were pouring it, we were discussing that it is a disaster film.
Yes.
So my initial closing thoughts, I did give it an 8.
Okay.
I did give it an 8 out of a 10.
I would do probably 7.5.
But I think an 8 out of 10, now that I'm thinking about it, is
7.2.
It's a good movie, but it's a disaster. Like, it's not a movie.
Yes.
Because it's a disaster film.
It's a popcorn movie.
Yeah. But it's a
good popcorn movie.
good popcorn movie. Like, if you just want to put on something that doesn't matter, like, it's a good background movie for action.
Yeah.
Because there's not much, you don't need to worry about the story. You can just...
You understand.
You can just tune into the
They like each other. That's it.
Yeah, you can tune into the cool scenes and all that shit. We even did a fast review of it because like not much happens.
Yeah.
It's just a volcano.
So you guys are welcome too.
But I rated it just below the full on half, and you were a little bit almost to the half on half full of the text.
Yeah.
But it was a half full movie. Freaking phenomenal. Go watch Dante's Peak if you haven't seen it, and go watch Blowout for next
Email
month.
us at moistmondaypodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and while you're at it, make sure you follow us on social media. Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, Moist Monday Podcast. Rate us 5 stars on all the podcast apps. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Recommend us.
Yeah. Recommend us to a friend.
Or I was going to say, recommend us another moist movie of the month.
Yes, we have a whole list of movies, and we're just going off the wrist.
Yeah.
We might have even came up with another one today.
We sure did.
But we're going to chug this beer and then get on with our lives. Bye, everybody.
This is a hard one to chug.
Oh, yeah. That's the first time I ever beat Jacob.
This might be one of the first times I liked a movie more than you, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to
Dr.
get...
Seuss.
I'm trying to get more... I'm very emotional with my ratings, like, and especially because last month I gave it almost a half.
Yeah, that was a bad
And now
movie.
looking back, I'm like, I should
That
have
was a
given
horrible
it, I
movie.
should give it like a 2.
That's basically what I gave it.
Yeah. Oh shit!